I'm sure you all recognise what you're looking at there. You've not seen it with the foregrip on yet, so take a quick look at that stuff. Okay, 9 bolts on the quiver, 1 on the rail, so 10 on board. Anyhow, the main purpose of this video, my task today, I need to replace the string because I've worn out the binding, which is a bit of a shame. How have I done that? Well, I've been experimenting with some power upgrade possibilities. So that's the main purpose of this video, to boost the power slightly in these pistol crossbows. Right, so here's the problem. You can see I obviously need to replace the string. Right, now then, in my man cave I've got one of these. Some of you might know what it is, some of you might not. It's an industrial centre lathe. It's for making steel or any other material, cylindrical objects or various shapes. I won't go into what it's for anyway, but the crack is I've got the crossbow set in such a way as I can use the mechanics of the machine to very steadily and incrementally draw the crossbow with a scale attached to it. So I've set it up, I've tried it a couple of times, and it's I'm quite sure that it's an extremely accurate way of measuring the draw weight of these crossbows, and you're not going to be best pleased. I'm a bit disappointed anyway, so yeah, I've got it set up in such a way as I can use this scale. There we go. Right, this electronic scale here. Okay, I'll let it zero perfectly in like you're supposed to. It's in pounds at the moment, so what I'll do is I'll hook it onto a string attached to the actual crossbow string on the other end, and just smoothly so there's the poundage going up as I'm winding this, which is operating on a rack. Oops, it is underneath there. Trust me, there's a rack and pinion mechanism drawing this table very steadily to the right. So I just need to make sure that it's drawing nice and straight. So there we go. So the poundage is going up. Right, so at the point that the string is just where it wants to be. Right, now then, it's worth mentioning that one of the improvements that the Mark II has over the Mark I is the fact that the distance between the string when it's at rest and these cocking arms is actually greater. The Mark I, the string is actually much closer to the arms, and consequently the string slams into the arms much harder on firing. So obviously a lot of complaints. I actually snapped one of the arms on my Mark I, but Blades and Bows replaced it for free. They just sent me a new one in the mail for free. Anyway, so the point is, what I plan to do is move the prod forwards, and I'm going to exploit this gap by filling it up at the back basically with metal spacers. So what's going to happen is the prod is going to move forwards several millimeters, but what that is going to do, the caveat to that is it's going to move the string several millimeters closer to these arms. So to balance that, I'm going to twist the string as I am I'll restring the bow, but I'll twist it before. At the moment it is not twisted. I'm not sure if you can see, but those are pretty straight at the moment. So by twisting it, it shortens the string, which will bend the prod, which will reposition the string further back, and it will also hopefully result in much greater power, but we'll see. Right, now you see there's about a 5mm gap there. Okay, so I've got 5mm worth of packing there, just several pieces of really flat metal. Right, when you buy the crossbow, to install the prod you get 2 rubber pads and this, I'm not sure, it's about 2mm thick metal pad. You can see where the bolt's been biting into it there. Pretty cool. So yeah, that's all you get. So to pack the space up you might have to use your imagination a bit, just sort of bits of steel, like 1mm thick and whatnot. So I've packed together a set about 5mm thick, and if you're using multiple pieces of steel, stick a little piece of paper in between them and it seats them all together nice and snug. Right, so I've packed the prod forwards as much as I possibly can, and now the gap is tiny. There was no gap at all actually before I started screwing the screw down. So the two things I'm also looking for when I'm setting these up is that I'm going to check with a rule the distance from the rail to the centre of where the string is. Make sure it's exactly the same on both sides. Don't rely on the lines on front of the prod. If you want ultimate accuracy, use a steel rule for perfect accuracy, and make sure that the rod's perfectly central. Additionally, I'm going to put the straight edge on the actual rail itself and check that the prod lines up horizontally. It's difficult to actually see from this angle, but just to make sure that the prod's not angled sort of this way or that, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And make sure you tighten the prod after cocking it as well. Make sure it's fully tightened. So now, unfortunately, you can see how close the string is to these front cocking arms. So if I fire that now, that string's just going to slam into those cocking arms and it's just going to damage the string, which is what happened, which is why I've had to replace the string. So I'm going to want to twist the string until when set it's at least way back here somewhere. So I'm just going to keep twisting the string and restringing the prod. Might take a few goes until I get it really far back. I've twisted the string about 15, maybe 16 full 360-degree turns before stringing it onto the prod, so it's very twisted. I'm not sure if you can actually see just how twisted it looks there, but anyway. Right, now let's see what the draw weight is now then. As I know it's a bit blurred, but I'm going to do this with the... Right, there we go. So it's just about over the... Right, it's just over the lip now. And it is... Well, it's 58. So it's dropping as the paracord is stretching. But... Right, yeah. So... That's the poundage basically. It's about 58, 59 pounds. Right, let's just run that draw weight test again. Zero the scale. Make sure it's got no weight on it when it's zeroed. Yep, excellent. Right. So, as I draw, making sure that, yep. Right, so that's nicely even. Right, that's better. Right, so this is now, oh, let's take it off, Terry, there it is. Right. go. And it's around 57. So, the £80 pistol crossbow isn't £80 anywhere near. I basically got a consistent reading of about £53 on the two different prods that I tested. This is the second prod. I didn't get any difference in reading really, but after I've packed this prod forwards, I've increased the poundage by about 5, maybe £6 if I'm lucky. So it's around £57, £58 now. Gutted? I suppose, you know, it does stand to reason that it's not £80 or anywhere near it, but it's beside the point really. I'm a little bit let down by that.